What's up? Driving home from work. Fucking state trooper just passed me doing like 100. It's hauling ass. He ain't got no lights on or nothing though. That's weird. Hauling ass somewhere. So I listened to this podcast. I'm on my way home from work, like I said, and they're talking about this lyrics to this song. I think it's Kenny Rogers, that know when to hold him, know when to fold him. It's Daniel Negreanu and Lex Friedman. And they said something, I guess they were quoting more of the song, and I guess maybe it was a part of the song that said something about the best you could hope to die, the best you could hope for is to die in your sleep. And I don't know if they were still quoting that song, because I don't really know that song, or if they were quoting a different one. But it got me to thinking, it got my brain to spiral down into this. The best you could hope for is to die in your sleep. And I'm like, yeah, I suppose that's probably accurate. And then as I started to think about it a little bit more, and I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the easy way to go, right? But I'm not really the type of person that does things the easy way. And I don't know if I'm attracted to the idea of dying a painful death. I don't think that but I almost want to, I hate to say this because I feel like it's going to open up the door for the universe to will it into existence. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to eat these words, but I don't know, man. The idea of dying a painful death, it just kind of seems like, fuck it, you're going to die anyway. How long can it really last for? I wonder how painful it actually is. My wife would kill me if she knew I was saying this. She doesn't actually watch many of my videos or anything like that, so, you know, she might fucking have to talk to me about that. But I remember there was a time when I got so stressed out at work. It was terrible. I was one of the few times in my life that I've actually, I mean, I suppose I was probably pretty suicidal, but I suppose I was extremely suicidal until I realized, you know, through therapy. That's when I started therapy and stuff like that. I was really having a hard time with the stress of everything with my business and stuff, and I had this attraction to being not just dying, but dying by asphyxiation or drowning. You know what I mean? Like I was attracted to it. I was being pulled towards that. You know, like I have times like right now I'm being pulled and attracted towards running another double marathon out of the lake. I really want to do that. Like there's something that's calling me. You know what I mean? Like it's calling me, saying, "Hey, you did it once before. You do it much better now. You should come try. Come on, you know you want to." It's weird the way it calls me. And I think about it, and I envision myself out there at mile 41 and how painful it is at mile 41. And there's just something about it, man. It's calling me. And I feel like in that time of my life, I was so stressed out with everything, and I was attracted. It was calling me. Being hung or being drowned was calling me. And it was like, so when people hang themselves, I can sympathize with them because I know what that's like to be drawn to that, to have it call you, and then to, you know, I'm still here. I never went through with it, but dude, it was a tough battle there for a minute because it was really calling me. It was like, now that I think back on it, even because I haven't thought about that in a while, it's actually kind of like, man, that was fucked up. I was in a tough spot mentally to be there. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm not drawn to dying in the way that I was then, but it's like everything else that I do in my life is always difficult and hard, and I always make it through these challenges and shit. And like, what better way to go than to die a painful fucking death? You know, I mean, I hope it doesn't last like fucking 6 hours or something. You know, that might suck a little worse, but you know, I don't know. I'm just I feel like if anybody's built for it, I'm built for it. You know, just I don't know. It's a weird thing I do. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's fucked up. I had this. I can sympathize with people who maybe it's calling us. a couple years ago, we had this thing in Texas called Snowpocalypse. And what happened was it had perfect conditions for bullshit, but it rained and then it froze. And then we were getting freezing rain, and it was sticking to all the trees. And it made all the tree branches like really, really heavy. And then it was breaking trees and shit. Because the rain was just, you know, it was wet, and then it would just stick, freeze to it. It wouldn't just like fall to the ground. So the trees were having to hold all the weight of that ice. So all through our neighborhood, and it stayed frozen for like a week. So all through our neighborhood, there was all these houses that, I wonder if that's that state trooper that passed me. They got lights on now. All through our, this is a long story, I guess. But all through our neighborhood, all the trees, they felt, you know, there was branches and shit falling everywhere. And, oh shit, man, look at that guy's off on the side of the road. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of state troopers there. Uh-oh. That's not good. I have a feeling that guy, they're busting somebody. So we go through, and everything's frozen and shut down. I can't work. So I was like, fuck it, man. I'll just go around with my little chainsaw, and I'll just me and my son will go around, and maybe we'll hit a few houses, and we'll help these people cut some branches down and shit like that. And it started with one house, and then it picked up one or two more, and I'm fuck it, I got nothing going on. I'll just keep going. And then my neighbor got involved. My neighbor has a I don't know what you call the business, but they go through and they clear land, trees and shit like that. And he's got these guys they hire that do all this wood, they chip and shred all the trees and shit, and then they make a bunch of mulch. It was a pretty cool deal. So anyway, everything's frozen. He ain't working either, and he's got this chip shredder on rent for a week. And so he says, hey, listen. And he's got a 16-foot trailer. So he says, hey, listen. He goes, dude, if you go cut the shit down, we'll drag it all to park. We'll load it up in my trailer. We'll just drag it all to park. And then we'll just chip shred it all at the end. So cool, man. Let's fucking do it. So we rallied up. It was me, my son, him, and his son. Fast forward another day or two, and we start throwing out blasts on Facebook in the neighborhood page and telling people, hey, we'll come cut down your trees. We'll haul them out, you know. If they're, you know, there was some people that had trees that were getting ready to fall in their house. There was a lot. So we spent like 3 or 4 days just going around, and we got more people in the neighborhood involved in it. By the time we were done, now I bet you there was 30 people helping. And so then we set up the chip shredder down at the park, and I just sat down there with a few people, and we just busted our asses all day long, just chip shredding the whole parking lot was filled with trees, and it was insane. It was such a crazy effort. But anyway, one of the guys that I met when we were down there, we were chip shredding together, where we had to stop and let the machine cool down because it was way too hot. It wasn't hot out, but the machine was hot, you know. Of course, it was only like 15, 20 degrees out there. We out there working, but this guy tells me this story about they were working in Arizona or New Mexico or something, and at the beginning of the day, this guy showed up in the morning and was just sitting on the hill, and they sat out there all day long, and they were chip shredding this stuff. And at the end of the day, everybody was starting to clean shit up, but the machine, I guess, was still running. So at the end of the day, the guy walks down the hill and throws himself into the fucking chip shredder, head first. And I guess he had said that the guy had taken his wallet, his keys, and everything out of his pocket and laid it up on the hill so they would know who it was. And walks down the hill, throws himself into the chip shredder, kills himself. And I can fucking certainly sympathize with that, because I've been in situations in my life where it was so stressful that it called me. And I have a feeling that that's what happened with that guy. I mean, it's terrible, right? All those people who were down there working, they now have to deal with the mental mind fuck that comes with watching that play out in front of them. And now they have to go get some sort of therapy, because that's fucking traumatic. God, I can't even imagine. I mean, it's hard to talk about, think about, But to see it would be a completely different thing altogether. To watch it, like, Jesus, I can't even imagine what that is like, to have to come home from work. Like, you just go to work like it's any normal Tuesday, and you show up and you eat your lunch, and you're working with John, and he's talking about his money problems, and fucking Jeremy didn't show up today, and then all of a sudden at the end of the day you're cleaning up, you're gonna go home to your fucking same old, whatever the fuck you do, and then some guy who's just completely fucked in his mind jumps in there. And now your entire world has changed. And that's a hard thing to undo. That's some hard wiring to undo. I mean, it's doable, but it ain't easy. I can just, from all sides, man, I can just see it. I remember the first time I saw a video on the internet where a man had killed himself. He had been arrested, and he was in a police station, and they had him in there questioning or whatever. They're questioning him. Cop walks out of the room. The guy pulls a gun out of the back of his thing, blows his fucking brains out. Like, holy shit, I wasn't fucking expecting that. It's like things like that you can't unsee. I can't unsee that. I'll remember that forever. This fucking brain all over the wall and shit. I can't unsee that. That's always going to be in my head. And I can imagine it from that perspective of those guys, man. But I can also see it from the perspective of the guy who did it, because I've been there, man. I've fucking been there. And I don't know, man. I was thinking about that. I just thought I would share the thoughts. It's just like, we go through things in life sometimes that can drive you to do that. And it's, a lot of people always, they say, like, how could they do that? You've never been there. You ever been that stressed? Well, some of us have. Some of us can say, I can see why he did that. I can see why. Because I've been there. It's called me before. It just calls you. Like when you have a cigarette. When you smoke cigarettes and you try to stop smoking cigarettes, that motherfucking cigarette is always calling you. Every time you wake up, every time you get done eating a meal, every time 2 hours comes in and it's time to take a break at your job. Well, I always went out and smoked a cigarette. Now I'm not smoking a cigarette, I'm sitting here eating an apple, but that cigarette's fucking calling me. For me, it's after I run. Because I run a lot. I smoke cigarettes and I run a lot, which is weird because most people, those two things don't normally go together. But, I know about me is I'm a fucking addict. And that's probably, I'm addicted to the drug of running, but I'm also addicted to cigarettes. And, I can run pretty far for a guy who smokes. And, I'm not very fast. I don't have the lung capacity of somebody who doesn't smoke, for sure. I can't run fast, but I can run far. I can run for a long period of time, and that's just, that just comes with training. I don't know. People say maybe running's the best thing I could be doing if I'm going to smoke cigarettes. Maybe it'll mitigate some of those side effects from it until I can figure out how to quit. But it draws you, calls you, like running a double marathon. That's calling me right now. It's been calling me since I ran the last marathon last Sunday. I was thinking this Sunday, I was like, man, maybe if I got time, maybe instead of going out there and starting at 6 o'clock, what if I just started at like 4 o'clock? I'll just wake up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm out the door by 3. I get there by 3:30. I stretch up, or maybe I just get there by 3:45. It's only 15-20 minutes to get to the damn lake, and I'll just go run another marathon. I'll do it on my own. I'm not going to try to drag Simon out there. Maybe Simon wants to go, but maybe he doesn't want to start that early. Because if I get done by like 10 or 11, I think I can run in 5 hours. That's what my whole idea was, like, fuck it, I'll go run in 5 hours, because I think I can do it. We ran it in 6 hours, and we took breaks and shit. And, I don't know, man. I feel like I could do it in 5. So it's like, I was drawn to that. Then I was like, well, wait a minute. What if I just went longer? What if instead of trying to run it in 5, what if I just ran it, a little bit slower, but maybe I run 32 miles. Well, 32 is cool, but what if I What if I did 34 miles? Okay, I'll go out 17, I'll come back. It's calling me, man. And then pretty soon I was like, well, fuck it. You might as well just do the whole double. So there was like, now it's calling me. It's like, hey, you know you can fucking do it. Let's go. So yeah, you know, it's, I don't know, man. My mind is fucking twisted like that, I guess. I don't know. It keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me moving. It keeps me going towards a purpose and a goal. And it keeps me inspiring my kids. And it keeps me inspiring my friends. And it's easy to do for me. It's easy to just go out and be like, all right, I'm going to go run a marathon today. And just to get up and go do it. And just because I fucking can. And because, you know, because I want to. Or maybe it's like, sometimes I'm feeling like, that's a hard challenge. I think there's a fire or something up here. There's smoke everywhere. I don't know what side of the highway it's on. That's kind of crazy. I'm on 290. It's nuts on 290 today. That might be a vehicle on fire or something. That's a lot of smoke. I don't know if anybody's even getting to that thing yet. So, yeah. This is going to get interesting here. So, I probably better end this video at that. Get up here. And maybe that's where that state trooper was heading, not those other guys. So, anyway. Yeah, fucking have a good one. I'll let you later.